I left 259 in there. Alright. Welcome to Tony's MMA Corner, the only MMA channel that may or may not have my downstairs toilet as background noise. I'm your host, Tony Sepulveda, and today we're going to go over what happened at UFC 259 and see how my picks went. Let's get to it. First off, I want to give a special mention to one of the fights on the preliminary card. Normally I don't watch the early preliminaries because these cards are too long and I got kids. But I'm glad I dropped in because I got to see one of these bouts, and this may have saved this UFC pay-per-view card. This bout was contested by Carlos Oberg, who came out to How Bizarre by OMC and actually looked exactly like the guy from OMC. And I think I'm the only person that understood that reference, and I am now officially an OG. The 90s were a wild time. Now, Carlos was facing a guy named Kennedy. I don't know what his name is. I am not tackling that. I know maybe the Z is silent, but today, that whole last name is silent. So we keeping it at Kennedy. These guys fought in a phone booth. Kennedy faced some early adversity, but ended up pulling it off with a Hail Mary hook and knocking out Carlos in what ended up being probably one of the more exciting moments of the night. How bizarre. And now to my picks. First, we got Dominic Cruz versus Casey Kennedy. This fight went exactly as I said it would. We knew Dominic Cruz was going to be busier, and we knew Casey Kennedy was going to be the more stationary fighter. Dominic ended up getting that decision victory, split decision. It was a little closer than I thought it was going to be, but he ends up pulling it off. What does he do after the fight? He uses this time to call out a guy that doesn't even fight in the UFC. And does like a pro wrestling promo. He's all like, "What you gonna do, brother, when the decisionator runs wild on you?" It was a pretty crazy part of the night. He should have called out somebody like TJ Dillashaw. I think Dominic still's got some gas in that tank, and he should have used that time to call out somebody meaningful. The next bout was Thiago Santos versus Alexander Rakic. This one was pretty uneventful. We thought these guys were going to separate each other from their consciousness. Instead, we had two guys that were clearly scared of each other's past big dick energy and decided to bring their own flaccid energy. Rakic pulls off the decision victory in this one, and then his coach gives him a jiu-jitsu promotion to brown belt. For what reason? I don't know. Maybe he thought that bout was as boring as a grappling match that doesn't involve Gordon Ryan. Who knows? The next bout was our bout for the bantamweight title between Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling. And this one started off great. It was everything we thought it was going to be. Aljo came out smoking. Peter Yan started to take over. But then Peter Yan goes full Drago on Apollo and throws an incredibly illegal knee, which results in a disqualification. This then results in the most awkward championship coronation given by Dana White, where he has to give the belt to Aljamain Sterling. The UFC needs to go pro wrestling rules with DQs. The champion doesn't lose the belt in a DQ. This was retarded. Apparently they said that the corner instructed him to throw that knee. Who knows? However, what's clear is that they have to run it back. And perhaps they can do it in a Siberian street fight at WrestleMania! And next up, we have the women's title fight between Amanda Nunes and Megan Anderson. I think Amanda Nunes might have been listening to the last episode. She might have lost some details because of the language difference, but at the press conference, she came out looking like Creepy Michael. However, she should have came out looking like the young Michael that we all enjoy. All that doesn't really matter because when Nunes fights, she comes out as Joe Jackson. And this fight went exactly like we thought it was. She came out and just completely annihilated Megan to further solidify her as the GOAT in the women's division. There was a great part at the end where she comes out with her daughter, and you know, that was adorable, man. That's a cute kid. Looks just like Amanda. The look on these broads' faces when they get hit by Nunes is chilling. This woman is going to dominate the women's division forever. As I stated before, in the last bout of the night, we had Izzy and Jan in a decision that wasn't going to be easy for either guy. Eventually, Jan used his Polish power in the form of 2 takedowns and top control in the championship rounds to get the unanimous decision victory. This fight wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. I would say the biggest winners of the night, probably Robert Whittaker and Glover Teixeira, because now they could challenge for those titles. I would say the biggest losers of the night were Daddy Sanya and Dana White. With Conor getting knocked out and Khabib saying he's going to retire, who's going to step up and be the next star? We were all hoping it was going to be Izzy. Izzy's still a star. He's still young. He's still got stuff to do. But he's not going to be that star just yet. He needed to win that belt. So Dana White is probably going to kill himself. Well, there you have it. Only 2 out of my fight picks were correct. Who could predict a disqualification? Come on. UFC 259 was an overall disappointment. Guys, make sure to leave some comments in the comment section and talk trash about how I took an L on this one. I will see you guys next time on Tony's MMA Corner. Guys, once again, thanks for hanging out. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscription button, the notification button, leave a comment. You need to do all these things because I'm not trying to flop like that UFC 259 pay-per-view.